This show contains harsh language and heavy themes of sexual assault that may be disturbing to some viewers.
Hello. We would like to welcome you all tonight to Make Mom Proud's production of Did I Say Yes? My name is Carson Lettner, and I'm the assistant director, and this here is Belle Hudson, the director of tonight's performance. We are so proud of everyone's hard work, creativity, and focusing on changing the world for the better. Make Mom Proud is a completely student-driven event started by Jacob McKee 10 years ago. During his sophomore year at Piedmont College, Jacob lost his mother to a battle with breast cancer, and he wrote a play centering on a family dealing with loss. The play was mounted and thus began Make Mom Proud, a pay-what-you-can event supporting a local charity. Our co-department chair and faculty advisor, Bill Gabelhausen, said, "I am so proud that the students have carried on this legacy every year since its beginning. Even the pandemic last year could not stop them as Make Mom Proud was performed over Zoom." Now, before I hand it over to Bill, I would like to remind everybody of the following. First, masks must be worn at all times in the building. Backstage, everybody's wearing a mask, and they will take it off moments before they step on stage, same with us. Please do not hang out after in the lobby and meet everybody. Just for safety purposes, we are asking that everybody leave, but if you know anybody, you're more than welcome to text them, meet up with them off campus, do anything like that. The restrooms, the ladies' restroom is straight that way, and you probably passed it coming in. And the men's restroom, start going towards the ladies' restroom, and then take a right at the lobby, and then take another right, and it's right there. And then finally, please turn off your cell phones, please. But now, I would like to introduce everybody to our director, Belle Hudson.
Thank you again so much for coming tonight. The cast has worked extremely hard, and even though this hasn't been a very long journey, it has been a very mentally exhausting one with subject matter such as this. So this Make Mom Proud is going to be a little different than ones that you might have seen in the past. Normally it's one show with one plot line, but when you're dealing with a subject matter such as this, there isn't just one show or one plot line that can sum it all up. So tonight's performance will be a culmination of scenes and monologues that show different settings or circumstances where sexual assault could take place. Our show tonight is dedicated to anyone who has ever felt alone or like they had no one to go to, because as you will learn tonight, you are never alone and there is always someone in your corner, which brings us to the organization that we are doing this all for, Rape Response, Inc. They are run out of Gainesville. Their mission is to serve as a system of support, advocacy, and education to the community and to survivors of sexual assault in the areas of Habersham, as well as other surrounding counties. They also have a big focus on educating adolescents and their parents on subjects such as healthy relationship dynamics, what boundaries should look like, and Georgia laws that are meant to protect them at such a vulnerable age. On that note, please be aware that this show does include harsh language as well as very intense themes of sexual assault that may be disturbing to some viewers. At any point during the show, if you need to step out, please feel free. We also have two advocates, Cody and Rebecca, sitting in the corner from Rape Response, and they are available at any point during, before, or after the show to talk with you, or if you just need someone to listen, please don't hesitate to take them aside. I have had the privilege of meeting the women who run the Rape Response office, and they are wholeheartedly seeking change. It's not an easy journey, but it is an essential one. And I hope you can be a part of that journey by donating. You can donate by our GoFundMe, which is going around on Facebook, on the Make Mom Proud Facebook page, or outside at the table that you passed. Little note, we have reached the goal of $400, which is super great. But we can make it more if you want to. Like, you know, that numbers can only go up. So yeah, just thank you for being here and supporting Make Mom Proud and Rape Response, and enjoy the show.
Love is abuse, and I will never again believe that I am valuable and worthy of love. I know that nobody will ever feel the pain that I feel. Even when it seems like everything is going to be okay, I constantly remind myself that I somehow deserve everything that is happening to me. When I find myself thinking that I am strong and beautiful, I know that this couldn't be further from the truth, because I am worthless. I refuse to believe that love is respect and people really do love and care about me. The world has shown me that nobody knows me better than me. Even though I am misunderstood, alone, and forgotten, I do not believe that I am a survivor.
These are the thoughts of over 400,000 Americans who are assaulted without cause every year. It's my fault, they say.
But it isn't. 1 in every 6 women is the victim of an attempted or completed rape in her lifetime.
94% of women who are raped experience symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder during the 2 weeks following the assault.
The likelihood that a person suffers from suicidal or depressive thoughts increases after sexual violence.
Sexual violence also affects relationships with families, friends, and coworkers.
It's not just something that goes away.
It stays with them for the rest of their lifetime.
Why did he pick me?
Why did I wear that skirt?
Why did I put myself in that situation?
Why didn't he stop when I said no?
Why did she willingly hurt me?
Why won't anyone believe me? Did I say no?
Maybe I didn't, but still.
Did
I say yes?
Okay, terrific tigers. You all did such a good job on your multiplication worksheets. Now, I want you to take 5 minutes and check your answers with your desk partners. All right, I'm starting my timer. Okay, so for number 1, I got 35. Is that what you got?
Yep.
Okay, and number 2, I got 44.
Yeah, me too.
All right, and number 3, wait, there's nothing written on your paper.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not. Are you trying to cheat off me?
No, I'm just not good at multiplying, I swear.
Then why didn't you say something? I could have helped you.
Because I thought you were pretty, and I didn't want you to think I was stupid.
I don't think you're stupid.
So, can you show me how to do it?
Okay, tigers, 3 more minutes. Yeah, so if you look at number 2, whenever you're multiplying a number by 11, you just double the number.
Okay.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
Why is your hand on my leg?
Because I want it there?
Please take it off.
No, I don't think so.
You can't do that. I'm telling teacher.
No, you don't want to do that.
Oh yeah? Why not?
Because I'll tell the teacher you distracted me, so I couldn't get it done.
But that's not true. Please take your hand off my leg.
Nah, I don't think so.
1 more minute, everyone. Please, I don't want anyone to touch me there.
Oh, come on, don't be such a baby.
Ow, 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 you're hurting me. I'm getting teeth.
No, you're not.
Please, stop.
Or what?
Sweetheart, is everything okay? Yes, ma'am. I just don't feel so good.
We went from boys poking us to men provoking us. We went from playing with toys to being toys ourselves. So, boys will be boys, and us girls will never tell. Haley Dixon.
I had the worst first date imaginable. It was hilarious. So I asked this guy out because we were already friends, and I think that is super important, you know? And I suggested that we grab a cup of coffee because I'm cool and calm and collected. Or is it calm, cool, and collected? Well, it doesn't matter the order, that's just what I was. So I suggested that we grab a cup of coffee. And I thought maybe we could go to one of those places that has an open mic night, or one of the ones with all the mismatched dishware and mugs that work for its eclecticism, or one with a pun in its name. But he wanted Starbucks, so we went to Starbucks. Because it was my very first date of all time, I did not know how to make conversation, so I pulled from a Rolodex of questions that I was used to being asked, like, what's your favorite movie? What kind of music are you into? What's your favorite color? Those were the wrong questions to ask. He hit me with that, out of all the movies ever made, you expect me to pick just one? Yes, dude, just name a couple of the top films. Even saying Pulp Fiction, like all the other men I know would have sufficed. So, we're walking out to his car, right? And then he looks at me and says, you don't kiss me, I'm not taking you home. Well, that's a joke, right? Nobody would actually do that. But then he got in his car and drove off. So I sat there on the curb and waited. 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And then finally his shitty Toyota rounded the corner and we laughed it off. He pulled into an abandoned church parking lot and I gave him directions while we sat there. I stared straight ahead while he stared at me. I didn't keep track of time like I did when we were sitting outside the Starbucks, but eventually he pulled out of the lot. When we finally made it back to my house, I swung the door open and got out of the car before it had even come to a complete stop. But then he looked at me and said,
Hey, I think you forgot something.
so I leaned back in the car to grab something, and then he grabbed me and kissed me. It hurt. My tooth chipped, and it was slobbery and yet scratchy at the same time because boy did he need some chapstick. But I walked inside and washed my face and prepared to see him the next day in 6th period. I got texts from my friends asking how it went, and I told them that it was great. That's just how dates go, I thought. They tell me now that I should have told them the truth and not laughed it off, but it's just a funny story, right? Like, you guys think so too, right? They tell me it was sexual assault or harassment or whatever, but people go through a lot worse than just some crummy kiss or being left at the side of a Starbucks. I have nothing to complain about. It's still such a funny story.
It was much easier to explain the veils than to answer the question about the wounds. On this card.
It was after the homecoming game.
The big one.
Yes. Bradley had to ride back on the bus with the rest of his team. So, his friend, he offered to give me a ride back with him, to meet Bradley and McKenna at McKenna's to celebrate.
If you want to continue another time.
No. No. I need to talk this through. I can't keep holding it in.
Okay.
He left some things for the party at his mom's. At least that's what he said. So we doubled back. Everything seemed normal on the way back to his place. He seemed like himself. But when we got there, I couldn't recognize this person that was beside me. Who was he? Where did he come from? How did I get here? In this position? What are you doing?
Shh. Don't want to wait for folks, do you? Come on.
Why couldn't I just...
I need you inside, here, with me.
So I walk in, scared, anxious, sick to my stomach.
Relax. It won't take long.
He inched closer. My breath hitched, feeling him so close. My body was frozen still. Do something. And his voice shouting at me. My voice, full of fear. Do something, but what? What do I do? Scream, cry, yay, do something! Please, just do something! Stop!
Thank you all for coming. Truly an honor. People ask me, they say, Jack, how do you do it? Well, today I'm here to share all my secrets. Now, I don't want to say that it's easy to be me or to do the things that I've done, but With practice and persistence, you too can achieve what I have achieved in just a few simple steps. How to find yourself in jail. Part 1, the awakening. Now, maybe there's something that you shouldn't do, but maybe it's also something that you want to do. Maybe it's physical violence or illegal drugs, or maybe it's stealing gnomes from people's yards. And now, even though you know you shouldn't do this thing, you do this thing, and then you do it again and again and again until you have like a lot of gnomes, like a whole lot. Like someone might come over and see them and go, "Why do you have so many gnomes? Now, what could someone possibly do with that many gnomes?" And well, maybe there's no easy answer, except of course normal ones. Bad childhood, a hole inside you that nothing could fill, sexual deviancy, and maybe one day you get a little sloppy. Someone sees you and they recognize you, and the cops are there and they're asking all these questions, and we answer them honestly because at the end of the day, you just want it to be over with. And as they say, light is the best disinfectant. So cops are there with their questions and their serious faces and their guns and their badges, and they ask you point blank. So take them out to the shed and they go, "Holy shit!" Then they take you for a ride, and that's why I'm here. You may ask, what next? What are you going to do now that this exciting project has come to an end? And I have to admit, I don't really know, and I never thought that far. It's a relief, but of course I don't feel any better at all. So, sob.
Standing behind predators makes prey of us all. Sean Stokes.
I didn't exactly say no, so it's my fault anyway.
Well, she bought me dinner, so I felt like I had to do something. I mean, I guess I should have expected it.
I woke up and he was on top of me, but like I spent the night, so.
We were drinking.
It's the way I'm stressed. They say I was asking for it.
What are the cops gonna do?
I'm probably just overreacting.
I was too drunk. I probably just don't remember saying yes.
It just hurt, but I should have been more careful.
It was all my fault.
It's all my fault.
It was all my
It's all my
fault.
fault.
It was
It
all
It
my
was
fault.
all my fault.
It was
Oh
my fault.
It was all my fault.
It was all my
It
fault.
was all my
It was
fault.
all my fault.
It was all my fault. It
It
was
was
all
all
my
my
fault.
fault. It,
Was.
All my
Fault.
but I'm okay.
Or at least I will be.
Someday I'll be okay.
I'm not alone.
It will all be okay. I will be okay.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Me too.
Being able to survive doesn't mean it was ever okay. Anonymous.
It couldn't have been you. You were nice. You were funny. You were kind to us, and every parent who met you loved you. My parents loved you. You were one of the good ones. You bought us birthday presents that were way too expensive, always asked us how our day was, and talked back to anyone who was even sort of, kind of, maybe mean to us. And when she was done telling you what had happened, done ripping down every previous preconception I had had about you, I almost questioned if she was telling the truth. Just for a moment. It was you. It couldn't have been you. But it could have been me. Every instance we spent together, you made me question. Every long bus ride where your shoulder was my pillow, every sleepover that we had. Were you looking every time we swam at the pool? When I went through that breakup, were your words of comfort meant for something more? I looked at old photos of us, and before I tore them to shreds and threw them away, I noticed things that I hadn't noticed before. Your hand was too low when we hugged. Our thighs touched when we sat. Every short skirt, bathing suit, dress you saw me in, did you like it? It could have been me, but it wasn't. It should have been me. We were closer. I'd known you longer. I knew it deep down. I knew it. I knew that you liked me. I knew it and I ignored it and let us play along content. So instead, you chose her. She was 2 years younger than you, just barely 14, and you stole something from her. Nothing big, nothing dramatic, but you stole something. A tiny fragment of trust, a minuscule moment of vulnerability, and you've replaced it with a seed of disdain that grew into a fracture so large that it crushed her. My sister! You took that from my sister! And when you realized that people were speaking up, your cowardly self got to me first, and you told me they were lying. And I believed that. I believed you. Until I heard it from her. My sister, when it should have been me. But it was you. It was you, and you know it, but what you don't know is I'm angry and I hate you! And she was hurt and still is. But we're both better off now. We don't mourn our losses. And there's no one to blame but yourself. Because it was you. It was you.
I wish I could tell my sister that she's not dirty and should not feel ashamed for something she was literally not responsible for. Viola Davis.
It's 2009, and I'm 14, and I'm crying. Not really sure where I am, but I'm holding the hand of my best friend Sam
In the waiting room of a Planned Parenthood.
The air is sterile and clean, and the walls are that not gray but green, and the lights are so bright they could burn a hole through the seam of my jeans.
My phone is buzzing in my pocket.
My mom is asking me if I remembered my keys because she's closing the door and she needs to lock it.
But I can't tell my mom where I've gone.
I can't tell anyone at all.
You see, my best friend Sam was raped by a man that we knew because he worked in the after-school program. And he held her down with her textbooks beside her, and he covered her mouth, and he came inside her.
So now I'm with Sam.
The place with a plan.
Waiting for the results of her medical exam, and she's praying she doesn't need an abortion. She couldn't afford it, and her parents would, totally kill her.
It's 2002. My family just moved. The only people I know are my mom's friends too. And her son. He's got a case of Matchbox cars and says he'll teach me to play the guitar if I just keep quiet. And now, the apartment, stairwell, and apartment 1245 will haunt me in my dreams for as long as I am alive.
I'm too young to know why it aches in my thighs.
But I must lie.
I must lie.
It's It's 2012 and I'm dating a guy and I sleep in his bed and I just learned how to drive. And he's older than me and he drinks whiskey neat and he's paying for everything.
We've been fighting a lot, almost 10 times a week.
He just wants to have sex.
And I just want to sleep.
He says I can't say no to him.
This much I owe to him.
He buys my dinner, so I have to blow him.
He's
taken
taken
to forcing me down on my knees, and I'm confused because he's hurting me while he says please.
And he's only a man and these things he just needs.
He's my boyfriend, so why am I filled with unease?
It's 2017 and I live like a queen and I follow damn near every one of my dreams.
I'm invincible.
And I'm so fucking naive. I believe I'm protected because I live on a screen. Nobody would dare act that way around me.
I've earned my protection,
Eternally clean.
until a man that I trust gets his hands in my pants, and I don't want any of that.
I just wanted to dance.
And then I wake up the next morning like I'm in a trance, and there's blood. Is that my blood?
Hold on a minute.
What do you mean this happened to me? You can't put your hands on me.
You don't know what my body has been through.
I'm supposed to be safe now. I earned it.
It's
2018 and I've realized that no one is safe as long as she is alive, and every friend that I know has a story like mine.
And the world tells me that we should take it as a compliment.
But then heroes like Ashley,
And Simone and Gabby,
Michaela and Gaga,
Rosario and Allie
Remind
me that this is the beginning, it is not the finale, and that's why we're here, and that's why we rally. It's Olympians and a medical resident, and not one fucking word from the man who was president.
It's about closed doors and secrets and legs and stilettos from the Hollywood Hills to the projects in ghettos.
when babies are ripped from the arms of teen mothers and child brides cry globally underneath the
We
covers.
don't have a voice in the magazine covers.
They tell us take cover.
But we are not free until all of us are free.
So love your neighbor, please treat her kindly.
Ask her story and then shut up and listen. Black, Asian, poor, jointly trans, cis, Muslim, Christian, listen.
Listen!
And then yell at the top of your lungs.
Be a voice for all those who have prisoner
For
tongues.
the people who had to grow up way too young.
There is work to be done. There are songs to be sung.
Lord
Lord knows there's a war to be won.
I am 27 years old. Obviously, I'm female. I'm disabled because of the abuse. Before I became disabled, I was a professional television engineer. I live in Minnesota now.
At 5 years old, I was raped by an 18-year-old male babysitter. Since then, in separate incidents, I was
Abused,
Raped.
and incested
by my brother and several neighborhood boys.
This all happened between the ages of 5 and 13. My mother has dissociative identity disorder, DID. She was physically,
Emotionally.
Verbally abusive to me when I was growing up.
my mother constantly tried to commit suicide. She couldn't take care of herself, let alone me.
I'd go days without food.
Having my clothes changed.
And
Without being held or nurtured.
My father was an alcoholic and verbally abusive.
My sister used to be a drug addict and ran away when I was very young, so I don't know much about her.
So you can imagine.
To sum it up,
I had a nightmare of a childhood.
people ask me, how did you get through all of this?
I think I went out of my head, or I would have gone mad.
Listening to music was very important.
Being involved in track.
And because there was simply no way out, suicide wasn't a choice or an option. I
just had to deal with
it.
So, mentally, I tried to step outside of my reality. My diagnosis is post-traumatic stress disorder.
PTSD.
It's as if I've been through the Vietnam War and experienced all the symptoms of PTSD. For instance,
I had nightmares,
Flashbacks,
hot and cold sweats,
anorexia,
Abdominal distress, stomach pain,
migraines, and
I'm a very nervous
an anxious person.
I've been through talk therapy.
Doing some hypnosis.
meditation,
relaxation, and breathing techniques.
I've also been put on medications.
Prozac, Klonopin.
visceral.
All have been very helpful combined together.
I also have a wonderful psychiatrist who specializes in working with those with post-traumatic stress disorder.
The therapy
The healing process.
creates safety about you and teaches you how to create a support system.
You learn how to cope,
Nurture yourself.
build self-esteem,
And confidence.
Build better relationships. And boundaries within those relationships.
You learn how to live with the feeling of
impending doom.
Basically, You learn to live a better quality of life.
It's the quality that counts.
I am not a victim.
I am a survivor.
It's empowerment, and I like living my life that way rather than considering myself a victim. I started therapy about 5 years ago, and I'm still going today. I would say that I'm deep into the recovery stage, but not done. Probably a few more years to go. It's hard to reverse 20 years of abuse and neglect overnight, but I could not have done it or gotten where I am today without professional help. I strongly believe that we have to talk to one another and be heard to aid in the recovery and to heal.
Life is tough, but so are you. Anonymous.
Love is abuse, and I will never again believe that I am valuable and worthy of love.
I know that no one will ever feel the pain that I feel.
Even when I think that everything's gonna be okay,
I constantly remind myself that I somehow deserve everything that is happening to me.
When I find myself thinking that I am strong and beautiful, I know that this couldn't be further from the truth.
Because I am worthless.
I refuse to believe that love is respect.
and people really do love and care about me.
The world has shown me that nobody knows me better than me.
Even though I am misunderstood, alone, and forgotten, I do not believe that.
I am
a survivor.
I am a survivor.
I am a survivor.
I am a survivor.
I am a survivor.
A survivor.
I am a
I am a survivor.
I am a survivor.
I am a
survivor.
I am a survivor.
I
I am a survivor. I am a
I do not
survivor.
believe that I am misunderstood, alone, and forgotten.
Even though nobody knows me better than me.
The world shows me that people really love and care about me.
And love is respect.
I refuse to believe that I am worthless because this couldn't be further from the truth.
I know that I am strong and beautiful.
When I find myself thinking that I somehow deserve everything that is happening to me,
I constantly remind myself that everything's gonna be okay.
Even when it seems like no one will ever feel the pain that I feel.
I know that I am valuable and worthy of love.
And I will never again believe that love is abuse.
I am not a victim. I am a survivor.